안녕하세요. Welcome back to Korea Decoded. Hi, Colleen.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. Yes. I was wondering, I know you've already shared with us that you came to Korea for a job,
hmm
but did that always was that always the reason that you stayed in Korea? Were you always a career woman, or was there a moment in where you were just a mom or a stay-at-home mom or a housewife, or did
Well,
you
I
have a
guess
career switch?
well, I did have a career switch, but I've never had a time when I was never working here in Korea, and that's because of visas, right? Depends on what visa you have. If you have a spousal visa or if you have a an E2 visa, for example, it's tied to your job. So once you don't have a job, you have to leave the country. And but I've been lucky enough to have an F5 visa, which is the same as like a green card, I suppose. So
Right.
I
Okay.
could quit a job and just be a stay-at-home mom or something like that, or be a freelancer or something like
Yeah.
that. But no, I've never done that. But I did find that people would sort of pigeonhole me into um, well, because in those days, most of the people that came here were just teachers. So I remember um, that making the transition from being a university professor to a business person, even though I teach business, was hard for a lot of people, Koreans, to understand how, because in their mind, a lot of people thought for example, you are a native English speaker. So the only thing you can teach, or the only thing you can do is speaking. That was
Right.
weird.
Yes.
That sort of idea that all you are talented for, all you can do is speaking. The other thing I noticed is that since Koreans have such a clear path in their lives, from when they're born, somebody decides you're going to take this path and become a doctor or whatever. And then their Sunung, their SAT, decides what they're
Yeah.
going to study, that they don't have a lot of major switching like we do. They don't have the options. So when students ask me, what's your major? I tell them, well, I studied architecture, linguistics. I have, 3 degrees, 4 degrees, two master's degrees, all in total different areas.
Right.
They have a hard time understanding that. So yes, I was, found that I was quite pigeonholed into one kind of occupation, and making the switch um, took a lot of effort, I suppose. But I'm still
Yeah.
teaching, but on the side, I have businesses. Yeah.
So if you would have to just choose one pigeonhole word to describe yourself to Koreans, what do you say? Which one do you pick?
Hmm. I still tell them I'm a professor. I still say I'm a professor because that holds a lot of weight in Korea.
Yes, I think so.
Still, still. Teachers not so much anymore. You remember probably the old proverb that never walk on your teacher's shadow,
Yes. Yes.
right? And I think
Yeah.
Korean teachers are finding that their status has dropped quite a bit from that high level of respect that they used to garner, but professors still.
Right. Well, good. I would always respect the high respect they would give a Korean teacher. And I would use that as an example in Belgium. So, in Korea, they teach the kindergartens not even to step on their teacher's shadow. That's how much respect you should have for a teacher.
Yes.
Uh,
Mhm.
which is beautiful, but it's also sad that we need to keep that in mind because in many other countries, it's not the case at
It's not the
all.
case.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah,
Um,
I found that trying to, I also do consulting work with the government. So for example, when I first meet somebody from the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy, sorry, um, sometimes they will say, for example, oh no, here's a better example. So when I work with the people from the Center for Disease Control, the CDC,
mm,
they will often say that they'd like to discuss, stem cell research or um, food science or something with me. They'd like to discuss this with me, uh, but they say, but you won't understand. You can't understand. It'll be too hard for you. And I say to them, just tell me about it. And they're
mm,
surprised at how much knowledge I have on a variety of different topics. They know this area.
yes.
And I tend to know, because I'm curious, I tend to
Right.
know, and because I've had a lot of experience, I tend to know a lot of things. So Koreans tend to see you're a white face, or you're a Caucasian, or you're a European, or you're a North American. All you can do is correct their pronunciation. That's all they think
Yeah.
that you're valued for. And so, what do you think, Aline, about these days? Why do you think people are coming to Korea? I don't think there's a big emphasis on teaching anymore. Why are people coming here, do you think?
Indeed, I don't think the emphasis on teaching anymore. The regard of I mean, it has become more difficult to become a teacher in Korea, and I think that word has spread abroad as well. Going, it's not just a quick fix to pay off your student loans for 2 years.
Yes, right.
But the Hallyu wave, right, the cultural boom all over the world has brought tourists to Korea in all aspects. You know, is it because they love K-pop or they like hiking, um, the food, the culture, all reasons that at least bring the tourists there. And I
Hmm.
think tourists have high expectations of Korea, and
Yes,
they come to Korea and they want to experience all they've already seen on TV, and they want to
right.
try the kimbap that comes in a triangle and the milk that tastes like banana, and they want to and I think many of them, especially the young people, aspire to sort of, oh, you know what, maybe I can make this longer than a 2 week trip.
Yes.
I could work here, I could study here. And I think the government is really doing a good job in promoting that as well. We've got
Hmm.
language programs that give you visas. We've got scholarship programs. So I myself was part of a scholarship program. So I was surprised to see who was interested in that, who participated in that.
Hmm.
Countries really that you think, I mean, I thought the only reason I landed in Korea was because I came as a child, my father was working
Hmm.
there. Had my father not worked there, I might not have come to Korea. I don't know. So
Hmm.
from out of the blue to be interested in a country like Korea that has no relationship with your country, if you're coming
Sure.
from, let's say, Africa, and say I'm going to study in Korea for 3 years and I might even get a job there. And I mean, like,
Right.
what an out there idea.
Very
Um,
much so. The Korean dream, right?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That is a new concept, the Korean
Hmm.
dream. But have you noticed that at some point in time, it that bubble bursts and the students
Sure.
with high hopes get disappointed, or it's not as glammy as they thought it
Hmm.
was? Or
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So we don't just study here, we don't just work here, we have to live here. We have to
yes,
take the bus, we have to go to immigration, we have to go to the bank and try to do things. We meet, and as expats, we we bump up a lot with the word it's impossible,
yes,
often impossible.
yes.
So even though, let's say, for example, on one week I go into a bank and I make a bank account. And then a few months later, I go into another bank or even go into the same bank and want to make a bank account. They'll say, it's impossible. Foreigners can't make bank accounts. Okay. How come I made one a few weeks ago?
Yeah,
So, because a lot of times, we, so we as expats, foreigners or tourists, we've done a lot of research on Korea. I came to Korea knowing nothing, absolutely nothing. So I
right.
had no expectations. A lot of people are coming to Korea with having watched TV, with having watched lots of TikTok and Instagram reels. Maybe they've even had a Korean friend who's told them about Korea. So they come with expectations,
Mhm.
and but the problem is that nobody's prepared the Koreans for us.
Yes, exactly. They
They're
must feel
not
so overwhelmed.
right. I don't feel that they're antagonistic. They're very nice, gentle people. They'll even apologize. I'm sorry I don't speak English. And I think
Mm.
I'm in your country. I need to speak Korean. But the thing is that nobody has prepared them for that. Nobody has told them, yes, we do give loans to foreigners, or yes, foreigners can buy foreign stocks at at Mire Asset or whatever. Or
Right,
yes, if you have a Canadian driver's license, you can get a Korean one without doing the test, all these kind of things. That information hasn't been passed down to them. Nobody's asked them, do they want us here either?
right.
The
Yeah, I
government
think
never asked them, right? And if you look at the statistics, it's an aging population following in the path of Japan. Young Koreans are having a hard time paying for their lives, buying apartments, so even finding jobs. So how do they feel when the government is pushing for foreigners to come here and take and not take participate in the job market?
oh, yeah.
There has to be
Yeah,
some kind of conflict there, right?
sure, sure. But to what extent are they aware of this pull for foreign talent? I don't know if because for many things there's two tracks to everything. They're like, oh,
True.
this is the sign up sheet for foreigners, and this is the sign up
Yes,
sheet for Koreans. Even if you want to
right.
participate in a marathon, it's a different deadline, it's a different sign up sheet. So in a way, it doesn't feel like you're
Hmm.
competing with them. But
Hmm.
I've seen elderly people on the street yell at a foreign street vendor and be like, you're taking up my spot, and so it's a different generation that's
Hmm.
upset about us coming here. I think that the younger people would be more open, having been taught in school about globalization, and was also the younger generation that saw things more utopically and thought, oh, we can, as long as we're economically strong, we can open the borders with North Korea. And it was
Ah,
only
sure.
the older generation that was like, well,
Yeah.
wait a minute, for this and this reason, that doesn't make sense. It won't make sense.
Hmm.
So I don't think the younger people feel such a threat
Right.
about
So,
us.
so going back to the question that you asked me, have I always been a teacher or did I make a transition? How
Mm,
easy is it to make a transition? I find that a lot of people who have been here for a very long time have made that transition from being a teacher to being a business person. To a lot of people have opened up restaurants or whatnot, but these tend to be people who married to Korean, they have Korean
mm,
multicultural children. They've more established as a as a citizen, as a participating citizen, rather than a short-term stay kind of person. But it is difficult to make that transition because Koreans had lumped us into one group. You're here to teach, right? Right.
right.
And now
Yes.
I don't know what they think about all these people that are coming because a lot of people are here to study. Some people are here to work. Some people are here to participate in movie productions or to learn K-pop dance. Or so there's a um, people are taking or people or startups. There's lots of
Mhm.
startups here. The government is doing
Yes.
a lot to fund that as well. So making
Yeah.
the transition isn't actually, I shouldn't say that. Making the transition has changed. There is no more transition, I would say, because people are coming here on a specific visa,
Yes.
right? Like the
Right.
Hallyu visa or the
Yes.
K-star visa or something. Whereas I came to teach and was able to make the transition to business. People are coming here to teach, to do business because the competition is there as well,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. More and more people are
So
coming here.
that's what I heard, that the conditions were, so 25 years ago they said, oh, we only hire expats to do jobs that Koreans really can't do themselves,
Right. Yes.
which is usually involving global sales, global market,
Right.
bringing European tourists, something like that.
Mhm.
But I think at the same time, they've kind of developed their local markets.
Yes.
Everybody can now speak English, and we're like, well,
Everybody? I'm not sure.
I mean, yeah, I mean, they
Yes,
still need the
sure.
English teachers, right? We're still there. In
Sure.
cities like Gwangju, the only foreigners there were English teachers or English professors.
Sure.
That was the
Sure,
only
sure,
reason
sure.
for being there.
Yeah,
Um, but I think there's going to be a tip of the scale at some point where
hmm
a Korean who's fluent in English can also do sales
absolutely.
negotiations with
Absolutely. And they do.
uh,
And these are
yeah.
people who were maybe born abroad or who've lived abroad or um, they were raised here I mean, the variety of
Mm.
the Korean market has changed for sure. So they don't need us as much.
Right. So
But
it's a
still
good
they want
point
us to
that you
come.
say, right? So they no longer need us. Will they still want us then if they don't
Right.
need us? That's a good
They
point.
want us
Yeah.
to come, but they sometimes don't want us to stay. Like sure, I've stayed here for a long time and I do feel kind of welcome here, but I either get two comments. Either, oh, you're almost Korean,
Right.
한국 사람 같아요, something like that. Or, oh, you're a foreigner. Like how after 28 years, I'm still a foreigner, right?
I think that that one stings the most.
It does.
Many of us expect to
Not
feel
that I want to be
accepted at
Korean.
some
I don't
point.
want to be Korean.
No,
Honestly, I don't want
yes,
to be
but
Korean. I
you
don't
want to
want,
feel accepted
right.
at some
But
level,
Korea
right?
will never be a multicultural country
Mm.
if the attitude is, okay, you look different, therefore you're not Korean, and so you can't be really fully integrated. So you're of the part of the other group. And so I wonder how
Right.
this affects multicultural kids.
Yes.
I have two kids they
Mm,
have a Canadian passport and a Korean passport. And some people say, oh, you're Korean. Some people say you're not Korean. I mean, who gets to
mm.
decide?
Oh, and
One was
how do
born
they
here,
feel
one
themselves?
wasn't. And,
Mhm.
how do they feel themselves? On a given day, they might feel Korean. On another day, they might feel
Right.
Canadian.
Right. Yeah, I can imagine that. Um,
But imagine being told that you're a foreigner. You were born here and you have a Korean passport and you look Korean
yeah.
mostly, but somebody tells you that you're a foreigner. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't. One of the shocking things that my mom experienced was she was invited to like a international ladies women's club meeting or something,
Hmm.
and she's been a part of those in all the countries that we've lived in, and so she was
Hmm.
very routine and everything, and she showed up and she was shocked because the tables were divided per nationality, and you had the Korean ladies table and then the Koreans married to a foreigner ladies table. And so she was the only Belgian, so she was at the leftover table with one woman from Scotland, herself from Belgium, and someone from France or something. This was Busan in the year 2000. And so her friend was explaining this to her, and she's like, "Well, why is there a separate table?" She goes, "Oh, they're the ones married to a foreigner. They're considered they're Beijinja, right? They're."
Right, they're
And she's like,
traders.
"Yes."
Yeah.
So she was just like, she came home, she's like, I still need to process that. Like, how are they considered? How are they
Hmm.
conceived? And
Yeah.
yeah, and then so
Fascinating.
they would say, you'd be friends with your neighbor. And then once you realize, oh, your neighbor's married to another, oh, we can't be friends anymore.
Right.
And when I was like,
Right.
oh, this
Yeah.
is interesting. And to still pull that through in
Yes.
a organization like International Women's Club, that
To organize it,
clashes.
to
Yes.
pigeonhole people that much. It's fascinating.
So yeah, shoot. Yeah, so I hope that that dies down at some point because so you're a foreigner, but you're married to a Korean. What table are you at, right? Where
Right.
would you sit? So
Right.
yeah.
And that's the other thing. Generally speaking, it has always been foreign men,
Mhm.
European men married to Korean women.
Yes,
Not
that's
that
true.
many. It's different.
Vice
It's a
versa.
totally different conversation. Not
I'm
that many
sure.
Western
Yes.
women married to Korean men. It's changing, but yeah.
Right. Yes, it seems to be more present today than it was 20 years ago. Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
men
So
have
you're not the
changed.
only one. Good.
Well, we're not married anymore. And that's another
Okay.
conversation. And I see a lot of people with that dynamic getting divorced. So there is something going on back there.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Something that's not quite working. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
if you were,
I think
we should probably wrap it up pretty soon, but
yes.
if you were to come here again, what would you want to do?
Mhm.
And how would you want to be seen?
Yes, I would. So I found my passion in yes, teaching English, but also teaching culture and really bridging the gap. And so um I would like to get it right this time. I've
Mm,
been through different stages where I was trying to fit in, not fitting in, not having enough nunchi to sense to be myself and still fit in. And so I was
Hmm.
kind of losing myself, and I would always sort of fall back into place when I go back to Belgium. And now it's like
Yeah.
I'm old enough to know who I am. Can I be myself and know who I am while still in Korea, knowing the culture and being able to adapt to the culture?
Hmm.
And then I think once I radiate that, we'll see how I get accepted and how I get treated. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
I welcome you.
Thank you.
I
I
hope you
can't
come
wait to
someday.
see you.
Mm, yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for listening. And
Thank
thank you,
you. See
Eileen,
you
for your
next
time.
time. Always a pleasure, Colleen. Take care.
Thanks. Mm.